Good day everyone, this is Rich, and in today's video we are going to go over how to move a WordPress website from one web host to another in under 10 minutes. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and comment in the video. So I was in the process of moving some websites from one particular host to another because I'm canceling that service. So I figured why not do my favorite way of moving websites and make a video out of it. Now there's multiple ways you can move websites, WordPress sites from host to host, but this is the way I like to do it. I've done it, I would say 100 times, if not more, and it's relatively quick. Now I might not be able to fall in the 10-minute guideline I stated, but the video will be close to that. So let's get into it and I'll show you what to do. I wanted to mention a few things before we continue. There are several steps to this process, and I am using cPanel on both web hosts. Now, you might have something a little bit different, but for the most part, you should be able to follow the same process, assuming you have things like MySQL and PHP at MyAdmin, and you have access to the file manager on both web hosts. So what we'll do is we'll start things off with a backup. There are several different ways to back up files on your web host, and this is the way I do it. I select the folder I want to back up, I right click, I select compress, I hit zip, and then usually it gives you the file name I want. I compress the files, it takes a couple seconds here. Depends on the size. This isn't a big website. I'm just using it it's an old site. It's probably from way back in the day, but I'm just moving it because I don't want it on this host anymore. So let's just see what happens here. We're gonna pause. Okay, so it finished probably 2 seconds after I hit pause. The file is now located down here called slots180.zip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download it. So my file is downloading up here in the right corner. You can see that, and it's done. Slots180 is 128 megabytes, which is more than I thought. Our next step is to back up the WordPress database. And what we do here is we go under cPanel, we go into PHP MyAdmin, and under here, I have my PHP MyAdmin database right here. I select it, which is already selected. I hit export right here. I select quick export. I say export right there. It's downloading and it's done. Now that you have your backup done, you're ready to create the website on the new host or the host you plan to move to. All you have to do is go into that cPanel, scroll down to domains, and I already created this because I was doing this before I started making the video. You can see here, but all you would have to do is say create a new domain. I put a fake one in, slots180.net, and then I deselect share document and hit submit, and you're good to go. So now that we have the domain created, we have to create the database within the new domain on the new host. So we'll go down to manage my databases. And under here, now that you're creating a database yourself, we'll create something called slots. And we'll hit create. It takes 2 seconds. You go back. As you can see, it's right here. And what we'll do is we'll create a user. We'll just call it slots for now. We'll create a password, which will get automatically password generated. Okay. I'm going to paste it over on a different sheet so I can change it later. So that's created. Create the user. User's created. Go back. Now we got to do is we have to add the user to the database. And what we'll do is we'll select the slots user to the slots database and add. And what's going to ask us to do is give it privileges. The privileges will be all, and we'll say make changes. And then we'll go back. So now what you want to do is you want to take your database name. Oh, I got a notepad next to me. Not on this page, and your username. I obviously have the password too over here as well. It turns out they are the same, but sometimes you want your user to be different, but in this case they are not. So the database is now created and set to go. So in the next 2 steps, we want to upload both the files and the SQL database to the new host. And what I have here is I'm already on the slots180 root. And what I'm going to do is select upload and select file. Now my file is on a different screen, but it's the same one. It's that slots180.com.zip that we had created. And I'm going to select it. And the reason why I did that is for security purposes. I'm going to pause for a second. So the upload took about 3 minutes, I would say, a little bit longer than I anticipated. But then what we're going to do is we're going to go back. The file's here. We're going to select it, and then we're going to extract it. This is a little bit quicker because it's on the server and it should work much faster. So what happens is it creates the folder. I should have gone to the root, but I did not. It creates the files right here under its own directory. So what I will do is I will click on this and I'll select all. And I'll right click, or I can select move here. And I want to go remove this front end and move files. And what it's do is just empties that directory, and I'll move up a directory, get rid of this. And now we have all the files from the original server on here. I then recommend to remove this file, the zip file, and we'll just skip the trash so it just goes away. And we are good with that. Okay, so now we need to upload the database. So let's go to phpMyAdmin. It opens up. You can see our slots database right here. We're going to import. I'm going to select choose file. It's on my other screen. It's the SQL file we created just a bit ago. I select it. I scroll down. I hit import. It takes a minute or two. Okay, so that took about a minute. I did pause. Executed. Everything's good. All my directories are in there. And we're set to go. The next thing we want to do is configure the WP config file, which is on the root of your domain. I select it, I right click, I hit edit. It opens up, and we have to change the database name, user, and password. So we know what the database name is, and these will change for my sake. And I'll put in the password. Again, these are on a different screen. Just imagine me selecting it. And the other thing you want to do is select this, which is the API WordPress secret key. This removes all cookies and things like that and starts it over from fresh, and then you replace the key. So I have it up right here. You go to this page and just hit refresh a couple times. Copy that. Select it. Paste. Save. And that's it. So to fully activate the domain on the new host, we need to change the name servers on our registrar. And in this case, I use name.com, and I need to change it right here. I can add, which is this, currently using Cloudflare, but I'm not going to use that for this particular web hosting. And I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to delete, and then I'm going to hit save. So now it's changed. It will take could take 10 minutes, could take an hour, could take a few hours for it to fully take effect. They always say 48 hours, but things are so much quicker now. It's much quicker than that. So it should be done in about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and I'll be back. So it took about 5 minutes for the server to update on the DNS, and we're good to go. All I had to do was check the SSL certificate and make sure that was updated, and now we're completely secure and ready to go on the new host. This host is interserver.net. You can see the link in the description below if you're interested in hosting there. The other host was Web Hosting UK or something like that, but I don't recommend them at all. You can also check the description below for all my web hosting reviews. I do like interserver.net, HawkHost, and a couple others, so go check that out. And if you have any questions about moving a WordPress site to a new host, you can also move WordPress sites with new names, with a new domain name. You can do everything I just did, and it can be on a different domain. You just have to do another step or two. So let me know if you want me to create a video about that. It's not that difficult. And that's pretty much it. So I appreciate everyone watching. And again, if you have any questions about moving a host to, or moving a site from one host to another, it's really not difficult. And all you have to do is follow the steps. Now, I've run into hiccups before. It's not always this clean, but for the most part, this way is much easier than some of the others. You can always ask the hosting provider to do it for you. But in this case, why not just do it yourself? Sometimes they'll charge you, and that's unnecessary. Sometimes they add that to your package when you're buying a new host. InterServer, I'm not too sure what they do about that. You can create a ticket with them if you would like. If it's pretty simple setup with them, and it's not that expensive of a host. So I wanted to move off the UK and move into a United States server. We're good to go. And that's it. So make sure you like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and make sure you subscribe. And I look forward to the next video.